don't know whether we talked about the name Mary, which I came to realize later the name means rebellion or going against systems and cultures. So for all my life, I had gone through life going against systems, cultures, laws and regulations without even realizing it.
CTA with Mary, video 3.
Loving the conversation. I hope you are too. If you're catching us here, I always like to say go and watch from the very beginning. Mary Njoki is sharing her amazing life journey. It's a leadership CTA, and this one is packed with gems. To continue, computer studies.
Yes. So I found it okay. So I think we did the introduction of computers in Form 1 and Form 2.
Okay.
So it made me get interested in what is this computer about. So
and what year is this? Because so that people understand that computers wasn't a thing that it is now.
2002, 2003.
Okay, so that's a big, yes, the Windows 95 came 95, but this is mainstream. By the time it's now getting into schools, that school was still way ahead.
Yeah, it was way ahead. And I keep saying it's because of the Precious Blood Sisters thing. Okay. So their schools were good. Actually, even the facilities were not the facilities for group of schools, but the facilities were good. The computer room was good. The labs were good. Yeah, it was quite a good thing, a good school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you start computer studies.
So I choose to do computer studies for Form 3 and Form 4, which now started opening my mind from the perspective I had of just wanting to be a teacher or wanting to be a nun teacher, and my mind now started opening up to, there's something here that someone can do in terms of IT and technology.
Yes.
So that's how my journey in technology or IT started in my mind. Yeah. And I remember we were taught how to do basic coding, with C and C++. And I found that interesting. That would excite me more. So I remember very excited about coding in high school. Yeah. At that point, actually, it's not a normal thing. I don't even understand how we had schools around there or schools in Kiambu. I don't know whether there was any other school that was doing that. So that was actually different.
I started a website in 2001.
Yeah.
I was in university in SA, so I understand the concept of front page, which was old school.
Yeah.
C++, Java, Flash, all of those things.
Yeah.
But you were learning. I mean, I'm understanding where the school is, and I'm not expecting this even to be an option on the table. Yeah. To be honest.
Yeah. True. It was out of the norm. Yeah. And I keep saying you see the nuns were white. I forgot to mention that. So they had the knowledge from wherever they were coming from. That the principal was from Europe. So there's that. They were trying to change the perspective. They really tried to change even the schools. Apart from the rules and laws, which are neither here nor there, they were good. Of course, they didn't inspire anyone to think outside the box or have innovative thinking, but they tried to, whatever they knew, they tried to do it with us.
And that brings in the context of people understanding the impact of the church, especially the Catholic Church, in terms of education, in terms of healthcare. They have played such a huge role, because let's be real, you probably wouldn't have afforded this school had it not been a Catholic school, because of the subsidies that come with the Catholic school. Am I right?
Yes, I think they have.
Their schools are cheaper.
Their schools are cheaper. But what I can say, and I mean, of course, it's a system they've created, and it will make sense, because remember the context I was telling you, when I'm leaving class 8, this is what was happening. This is the same thing that happens even after going through such schools, because you're not exposed, you don't even know how to interact with boys. Actually, most people who go to those schools, by the time we are finishing high school, again, 50-60% have had children. So I think we need to think more of making the human beings, because this is just infrastructure that you're referring to.
Yes.
So it's nothing much. It's something that can be seen. But that aspect of now creating or building human beings on the inside never existed.
Wow.
So we can say there's real impact. So if you're talking about structures, anyone can do that if they will, and they did. But for me, I'm looking at the impact where actually I can leave that school after 4 years and say my mind has been changed, I've been provoked. There was none of that. Most of the people came out.
Minus your computer studies.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's not a small thing in Kiambu. But I hear what it is that you're saying in terms of sometimes the overprotection. It's like that was even a fire that was being lit. As soon as an ounce of freedom is given, it's like, have you ever locked a dog in a kennel for so long and then now you open it? Yeah. That was you girls.
Yeah, that was how.
Towards boys.
Yeah, that's how. I mean, the way it was done, it wasn't done in wisdom, but that's what they knew at that point. And I feel like I still tend to be different. Again, I don't know whether we talked about the name Mary, which I came to realize later. The name means rebellion, or going against systems and cultures. So for all my life, I had gone through life going against systems, cultures, laws and regulations without even realizing it. And we'll speak about it further as we go. But then I would find myself in places where there are rules and there are laws, and then my life would automatically go against it. There's no kid who finishes high school at the age of 16.
Yes.
It happened that I finished at the age of 16. There's no kid who... I ended up loving programming so much.
Wait, I don't even move us. So let's first stay in this place even before you tell us about where it leads you to.
Yeah.
So you are in this school. You are doing the programming.
Yeah.
Walk me through then your transition out, and then into where?
Of school.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to stay a bit in the school.
Yes.
And share the environment. Again, I think I'm sure you've already understood that it was an environment where you were caged. Sometimes we would do certain chores. You're like, hey, we are carrying firewood. Do from where to the kitchen? Like, it was quite an interesting school. We never used to have canteen. The canteen will be opened on Sunday between a particular time, either 2 to 4, and then you don't carry grab to school. You carry a particular amount. Standardization. Food was not a problem, by the way. Actually, what I hated more about the school is there was too much food, because especially the githeri, especially during dinner time, I'll be seated there like almost the last person in the hall, eating githeri.
And was there different options outside of githeri?
They just used to have ugali, skuma, githeri. I don't remember others, but githeri was every day for dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey. Like many schools.
And it was a lot. And then we'd take uji, white uji on Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it was a lot. Yeah, so the food was a lot.
Okay, again, keep me in this school or transition me out.
Yeah. So the transition, so there's now, I'm trying to fit in. When I'm at home, I'd go to this church. When I go back home, then I'd come back to school. I'm still trying to fit in. I've gotten myself into this thing of wanting to fit in. I'm listening to music. I'm very updated about everything that is happening in terms of the music industry, the entertainment industry.
Who is popping at that time?
At that point, it was Prezzo, and I think he became, we were just talking about him because of the chopper. But then, because of church, I'm now introduced to Gospel Fathers. I don't know who introduced me, gave me that cassette for Gospel Fathers. So I'm caught in between, and in this church you're taught about rules, so you don't know what not to listen to, what to listen to. It was quite an interesting mixture. But for some reason, because of the hunger I had when I was 11, looking for identity, looking for who I am. This whole time, you can tell, I don't even know who I am. There are these things that are happening in my life. There are small openings that I see, then I walk into, like a door open and I walk into, but I'm still discovering or trying to look for who I am in God, or who I am as a person. And
at that time, people are calling you Mary?
Yes.
Okay.
Mary Njoki. Actually, my name is Mary Wanjiko Njoki. And Njoki is my mom's name. So it's interesting, in high school, They used to call me Mary Njoki. No, in primary, I had my grandfather's name. Then it was dropped. Then I later realized there's another name I had before Wanjiko.
Yes.
Which was a Kisii name. Apparently, the guy was a Kisii. Then when I went to high school, people started calling me Mary Njoki. I kept telling them, no, it's Wanjiko. But then it stuck till today. But then for me, it makes sense why it was Mary Njoki.
Why?
Because of the meaning of both names.
And do you want to say that now? You want to talk about it?
I can talk about it later, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger. Keep watching till episode 92.
Wow.
Okay, so are we okay to transition?
Yes.
This is your story, not mine, so I move at your pace.
Okay. I think for me, so there was a lot happening in high school, and I was still a child. I mean, 15, 16, you're a child, like you're truly a child. But then there's this independence I have. And I remember now it's in high school I first came to Nairobi, actually, because we were asked to come and watch a certain set book at the National Theatre. So I remember I had to call my brother from Nairobi, at Nairobi campus. I had to ask, where do you light art? I remember getting to... No, that happened later, I'll share. I remember thinking it still happened because I wasn't familiar. I got to Westlands now from Limuru and I thought, oh, now we're in Nairobi. And I'm told, no, you can't alight here. You'll alight at they used to have a stage at Nairobi University. Yeah. Yes, they still have. Yeah, and then now you go to, I found my brother, then I went to Kenya National Theatre to watch a play, which is something to note because it comes back. It comes back, yeah.
Okay, so that's the first time. And when you came to Nairobi, were you like, wow, what is this? I mean, okay, let me just say you had seen probably on TV, you had been exposed.
Yeah.
But it's different when you are there.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was just afraid I don't get lost, but I also felt, now I actually felt like I'm Shamba because I'm like, I don't know Nairobi, I might get lost.
Oh.
I actually thought I'd get lost, so in the CBD. So it was okay, I need to go to Koja. Someone needs to take me to Koja and then I go home. I don't want to get lost in Nairobi. Yeah.
Oh, that's profound.
Yeah.
That your fear was not one more of excitement, of more, it was actually, no, the emotion that you felt was fear.
Yeah, which was different from who I had been becoming.
Okay.
But for some, I think it's when you interact with new things.
Yes.
Yeah, that was different. But all my life, what I saw, even as I look back, there's a boldness I used to walk in that was different from any other child or from any other person who came from where I was coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm still with you in your school.
Yes. So, we now start planning for. I mean, I was an average student. No, well, I don't know. I was an average student, but also now I had this thing of when I finish campus, I have to make sure I get B+ going up because that's the only grade that can get you to go to campus for regular program.
Campus, yes.
Yes, and then the government will help you with paying your school fees. Because I remember my brother previously again went through campus. We had to do a harambe, and then he had help to help you. Oh. So this time, my mom had taken a loan to actually get me to high school. That's why her pay slip was like, I don't know, minus what. That's why she was struggling to pay the rent for 1,000 Kenya shillings because she's being deducted all these loans she's taken.
Wow.
So I'm like, if I don't get B+ and above, I'm doomed.
So
yeah,
as a teacher, you can barely live off your salary.
Yeah.
We see sometimes the teachers striking.
Yeah.
These guys are just like...
Yeah, sometimes maybe you get 20 shillings.
Wow. Yeah. After all those deductions.
Yeah, after all
because
those
you've got 2 kids you've taken to school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This thing of, again, I'll go back and say that, this thing of free primary education. So now when it became even free secondary education, maybe not at your school, but other ones, it's a huge impact on millions of people's lives.
Yes, in the villages, across the country, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're aiming for your B+?
So I'm aiming for my B+.
In any particular subject or overall?
Overall.
Okay.
Yeah, overall B+. That's the one that causes you to go to a regular program. And then you get the government to help. So
again,
yeah.
Look at what you're chasing.
Yeah.
You're chasing the government to help.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm very cautious about my tongue, especially about this country. I'm very cautious about my tongue in terms of how we speak about our country.
Yeah.
There are some things that are not happening right,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of things that are also happening right. And listen, you don't know how many people have sat on this seat and have said, I went to school because the government paid for me or helped me pay. Yeah. This is not norm in other countries. Yeah.
Well, but there's other countries. I don't know which countries we are comparing ourselves to. So it depends.
I hear what you're saying.
We can.
I like that you're checking me.
Yeah,
this city is going to check me a lot.
We can compare ourselves with Singapore. Excuse me. We can go.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I hear where you're going.
Yeah. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
but I also think
our tongue.
It's we'll get there.
Okay. There's a lot we're getting to. So B+, let's go on.
So anyway, I finished campus. So you asked about friends. So I used to have different friends in high school, but I think like one of my friends became closer to me when I finished high school. Yeah. So I finished high school, 16. I'm at home and I have nothing to do. My friends so I get a B for boy. First of all, I'm like, wow, I niched, I failed in life. How can I get a B? Because now with B, where are you going to go to? Because you cannot afford going to private university. You cannot afford to go to do any other program because you can't afford the regular program.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
With a B.
Yeah.
A B is a good grade.
Yeah, I hear, yeah.
But it's not good enough to get you into what it is you wanted for your next stage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the interesting thing is I had 1 point to get to B+. So that's the amazing thing about God. God is amazing.
Why do you say that's amazing about God?
Because that's how he planned out your life. No, when now you start seeing the things that happened, how everything connects, you're like, oh, that's why I didn't. If I got B+, my life would have gone a different direction.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you only understand that in
later.
Retrospect.
Yes, in retrospect.
So you see somebody could have cast God at that stage.
Yeah.
Like, how can God, 1 point? Yeah. God wasn't but here 1 point.
Well, that time I didn't even know you can involve God in grades, so I didn't know. So, I mean, now I know like he's in every single detail of the matter. But that time I didn't, like, I was like, how I now turned it to me. Why did I fail? I have failed.
Wow. What's your mom saying?
What did she say? I don't remember. I just know she was, I don't know. For me, again, my life was so, I used to have a walk by myself that it was just about me getting to maturity mostly by myself. Of course, she saw it. I don't know what she was processing. And remember where we are coming from. The African parents never used to sit down with you to have conversations. It's not like today we sit down with teenagers and our kids and we have conversations with them. Okay. So, I mean, no one will tell you anything.
So, okay. Yeah. What's this done for you? It's just, this is a shut door.
Yeah.
This is, and with the kind of situation in which you're talking about, this is no option.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's different if you're saying we're trying to raise half the fees.
Yeah.
Now, you haven't gotten the grade that would get you the other half.
Yeah. And then to make the matters worse, I failed in mathematics terribly. I wasn't bad in maths, but for some reason, and we find it funny because most of the people in that class, we all niched in maths, even the people who are doing well in maths. We all failed. Wow. So I'm like, whoa. So there's this dream I'd gotten about computer science when I started doing now these computer studies. So I'm like, first of all, I failed maths and I have a B. Where am I going?
Wow.
But for whatever reason, I'll still be like, oh, I see, I'd read the newspaper and they'd say that they have University Expo at KICC or in Nairobi. I think I went for one of them. All right. So I don't know how I got papers and realized, oh, I can actually start looking to go study computer science at JKUAT. So I don't remember how, because I don't remember coming to Nairobi, but I had that information somewhere. Okay. And I actually went to ask about the JKUAT around Kianda, whether I can join to study computer science. So there's this happening, but I still have this drive that nothing is impossible. Okay. I can still,
You've in fact, I'm so glad that you brought this up. I'm thinking of a university student who is in that situation. We've had high school students kill themselves because of a grade. We've had high school students repeat because I was aiming for an A, I got a B+, I'm repeating. You get? If you were to speak to somebody with the empathy of understanding what they're feeling, what would you say about this period of the grade that you get?
Now in
hindsight, not be the grade you want.
So in hindsight, I can say there's a way. I've always had a drive for me, and I'm coming to think that nothing is impossible. So even as I keep seeing blockages, I would be like, no, I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to go beyond this. But how I'd tell someone, I'd go back to what we were discussing earlier about ownership, about not blaming others, because the reason sometimes we tend to enter into certain spaces is because we start by blaming others, number one. We start by not owning whatever is happening and understanding that everything that happened does not happen by mistake. The other thing is to always not allow life to program us in a certain way. So you might get a C or a D+, but then there's something else you're good at. So the what do you call it? The life we are living in has programmed us to see certain things as better, others as good, others as bad. But we need to get out of that mold. So it's now modeling our lives outside that. And I'm sure this generation is doing that, because we've seen people who have gone to TikTok and they've become whatever, they become people who influence society. We've seen people who are doing different things, they've become people who influence society. So it's not about the grade. So just changing your mind and shifting your mind from that place of, number one, this is not my identity, my grade does not define me.
Powerful.
Number two, there's much more that is in me than the grade.
And first of all, I love what you've said. That's the analogy that we hear a lot about an elephant or a fish out of water. A fish being made to climb a tree, or an elephant being made to be a swimmer. You're built to be different. And maybe the exams that you're doing is skewed to one direction. Okay. Because
even when you look at some of us who even got, maybe even people who got B+ and A, they were just cramming. I mean, the 844 system just taught us to cram. So maybe the people are even good at cramming. Someone has not even understood what they're doing. And I know that because I interact with people as I'm hiring them, and you discover this person doesn't have anything, sorry to say, between their ears. They just crammed. So, I mean, sometimes we tend to put value on that which is not value.
Okay, can I ask, around how many employees across the region do you have?
We are working currently with a team of around 30.
Okay. Now, what's in your hiring criteria, and you've answered it, but I'll ask it again in plain English. Do you look beyond the grade?
Yes.
Have you hired people with the C's?